Yo, buddy, the movie review is here. I am Chris and welcome to the channel, guys. And wherever you are, I hope you're having a great Friday. And with that being said, so what did I think of Detective Pikachu? Was it good? Was it bad? Here's my verdict. I think that this is a very enjoyable film. I think where this film won me over is, again, I love the attention to detail. I like to watch protagonists, the main character that we follow throughout movies and film, TV shows, that they're not just a hero for the sake of them being a hero. There are admirable traits and there's admirable things that they do, and I think that the writers they got Justice Smith's characters correct, and which is Tim. The IMDb is just here, and I'm recording just back and forth. Sorry about that. But so Tim, he is a great character, and I think he was written very well. That made him flawed, by the fact that he's lost things within his life, and that's something that we can resonate with. Is anyone that's out there in the world that's had to go through loss or any of those things, and it brings that level of empathy again. You always want to have characters that have empathy and as a part of a theme with a main character. And I think they done, especially with his story, it was very touching to me personally. It was, what he had to, losing, certain family members and things like that, it made him quite endearing, and I think they've done a good job there. As far as Catherine Newton being the somewhat of the love interest and the co-character next to Tim, I think she's done a good job. I do think she's done a good job with the material that she was given. But the only problem is it does feel as if sometimes here and there that her character's only there for exposition. She's only there really to get us from let's say the end of Act 1 into Act 2. That's what it kind of felt like to me. There's no, and to be honest, she didn't really come across to me as like this news anchor. Like this kind of journalist persona. I didn't really. I kind of felt as if she was a little bit miscasted in that role. I didn't really feel as if she was believable as this detective. Look, listen, I'm just a guy that's sitting in a chair behind a video and talking about his impressions of the film, But that's how I felt anyway. But yeah, let's move on to Pikachu himself. Ryan Reynolds killed it. He was brilliant throughout. You can tell most of the lines that he's doing, they're probably improvised, or they're off the cuff, and he's funny, and he's Pokemon's endearing. He's just so likable, and he is a great character. And with that also being said, I quite liked the second act, which is this kind of sequence where you go back in time to a certain incident in the film. And I was thinking to myself, whoa, like Warner Brothers really went all out for the CGI in that moment. I was really taken back by it. I was like, man, these guys, they really thought this through with the CGI, And in regards to Pikachu himself, it kind of felt like as if you could just reach out and touch him. He was just, the CGI was just immense. Rita Ora has a cameo in this film, and for the perceivable time that she's in it, I think it's only about 2 to 3 minutes that she's in it, and she killed it. she done a really good job. I had 2 to 3 minutes only just to see it on screen, and it kind of felt like as if I knew her character for longer. So Rita Ora, get into acting because you're good. Um, who else? What was it? Bill Nye is in this film. It's kind of a spoiler to talk about what his character then turns out to be. And walked away. I never saw this coming. They made him a really righteous villain, and we don't get righteous villains a lot. We only get sometimes a villain for the sake of them being a villain sometimes, just to carry on the film. But he was really intriguing. I was intrigued by, his character arc and what he had to go through. And it kind of makes you think, oh, I would do that if I was, I would do that if I was that worse off, And sometimes with villains, you kind of want to feel that kind of relatability with them. Sometimes filmmakers don't want to make them too relatable, because then you create the argument: is the protagonist that we're following is the villain, and is the villain really the protagonist? And sometimes it's a tricky ball game to play with. But I feel as if this film pulled it off brilliantly. I'd also say that I would say that I'm not a fan of the franchise in general, like the cartoons and the animes and whatnot. It's never found its way into my life personally, but we're here just to review the film. But there is also a lot of fan service moments, which I can tell. They've got certain characters. The way they direct their cinematography and show one character here, and then these little ducklings over here. I can tell that they were kind of feeding the fans their love for Pokemon with all these different Pokemons and whatnot. So yeah, it was. So they done that. What was there to say? But I think when it's all come down to it, I think that if it wasn't for Justice Smith's performance in this film, I don't think that I would have walked out and loved it so much. Because he really held the film together, and a lot of credit to him, a lot of kudos to him. Only one thing that kind of felt like a little bit of a rip-off was the ending. It worked, it did work, but I was kind of thinking, okay, this is completely out of context. I don't really see this as a spoiler whatsoever, but it's like in the last 15 minutes, they pull off a Infinity War and an Endgame in the ending with the last 15 minutes of the film. And I'm scratching my head like, is this a Warner Brothers copying other studios? Are they copying Marvel Studios? They're thinking, if it worked for them, it can work for us? It did leave me scratching my head a little bit, but I don't think it, again, with that being said, if it wasn't for Justice Smith's performance in this film, then it would have just come across as just a enjoyable film. I feel as if Justice Smith's performance made it a lot more, And with that being said, I will give this film a 8 out of 10. It's, it's enjoyable, it's fun. There is no real difference between this and Aladdin. They're both, I can't deter the two from each other. They're both enjoyable films. I would say, guys, it's an enjoyable film. I would watch this film again. Yeah, go out and see it. It's a good time and you won't be disappointed whatsoever. So yeah, that is the review for Detective Pikachu. And I hope that you... Let me rewind. And guys, please go over to watch the Aladdin movie review. You'll see in just the corner here. So go over, show your love to that. If you want to know what I liked and I disliked about that film, you can go over and watch that. So yeah, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll see you in the next video.